Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another edition of Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. I am your host, Paisano. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in because we're going to take a trip down thrash lane with the kings of thrash, in my opinion, a group called Slayer. And their 1986 classic, Rain in Blood. Now where do I begin when talking about Slayer? They are, of course, one of the big four, as they call them, between Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. All four of them are credited with starting a type of heavy metal that became known as thrash. And thrash was a pretty good example of what the music was like. It was loud, it was fast. The vocals were, unlike really anything in heavy metal up to that point. And Slayer, they had a couple albums before this, couple of EPs, Show No Mercy, Live Undead was a live EP, Haunting the Chapel. But this was a turning point in their career and a turning point in hard rock, heavy metal, and thrash. This was probably what everybody wanted to be after that. I mean, this album just was a stone cold classic. 1986. I bought it. I didn't know who Slayer was when I bought it, and it had a warning sticker on it for explicit lyrics. And I said, whoa. I said, I want to see what these explicit lyrics are about. So I bought it, and me and my friends became Slayer fans real quick. We went to see them every chance we got, and let me tell you something, they never disappointed. They were the ultimate thrash band, in my opinion. And their 1986 album, Rain and Blood, it's loaded with satanic imagery, but there's strictly a gimmick. Take a look at these guys on the back. Southern California boys. Whoa, record's falling out. Don't want that. Had it since 1986. Don't want to break it now. Ay. That was a close one. But look at their teeth. Talk about perfect dental work. Satanists do not have teeth like that, ladies and gentlemen. These boys came from middle-class backgrounds. Tom Araya, the lead singer and bassist, was born in Chile, I believe, and came to the United States at a young age, where he hooked up with Kerry King, one of the lead guitarists, sharing co-lead guitar duties with the blonde guy there, Jeff Henneman, and the ultimate thrash drummer, Dave Lombardo. Together, these guys were magic. Fantastic heavy metal band. And let's go over the track listing for this one. This one was produced by Rick Rubin, and this really cemented his legacy from this point going forward as a top-notch producer of hard rock and heavy metal. And it kicks off with Angel of Death. Come on. We're talking a stone-cold classic about Dr. Mengele from the Nazi death camps. Next up, Piece by Piece, Necrophobic, Altar of Sacrifice. Come on. We are talking about classics. There's no other word for them. Jesus Saves finishes out side one. And if you are prepared for side two, strap yourself in. Criminally Insane, Reborn, Epidemic, Post-Mortem. finally raining blood. My goodness, what an album. This album sounded like the soundtrack to hell. This is what hell would have to sound like. There's no two ways about it. We were lucky enough to meet 3 out of 4 of the members of Slayer on a snowy, very snowy, cold afternoon in 1994. They were promoting their 1994 album. The hell was the name of it? Oh my goodness. The name escapes me, but they were promoting it, and they were appearing at a Strawberries, which was a chain record store. I don't think it's still around, but it was Strawberries in Framingham, Massachusetts. And me and 6 or 7 of my friends took the trip up there from Braintree, Massachusetts, probably about a 45-minute ride, and waited in this huge line in freezing cold temperatures to meet, our favorite heavy metal band. And it was worth it. We would hold our place in line. 3 or 4 of us would hold our place in line while 3 or 4 of us would go over to the Pizzeria Uno right across the parking lot and take some shots to warm up and come back. So by the time we walked in to meet the band, the door opened and instantly the warmth was unbelievable. And Tom Araya was right there. I was the first one through the door, I believe. And he held out his hand. He's like, "What's your name, man?" "I'm Tom." Shook my hand. He's like, "Frank, come in." Shook hands with him. "Frank, come in. Meet the rest of the guys." Kerry King was sitting right there, right where Araya was sitting. And then Jeff Hanneman. Hanneman looked like he was having a rough night. God bless Jeff Hanneman. God bless his soul. He's no longer with us. He died about 15 years ago. And Paul Bostaff, who took over for Lombardo for a time. Now, Lombardo was in and out of the band over the course of their existence. And when we met them, Paul Bostaff was doing the drumming for them. So I got his autograph. It would have been so sweet to get Dave Lombardo's autograph. This was on Def Jam. It was just an unforgettable day for so many reasons. All right, this is the money shot, boys and girls. The signatures on the Rain in Blood lyric sheet. Come on. This is one of the highlights of my record collection, I can tell you that. There are the signatures on the lyric sheet. Lyric sheet is kind of falling apart. But this was a huge release for Def Jam. Let's take a look at the vinyl. This is in very good condition. Plays very well. I turned it into an MP3 sometime back around 2016. So the vinyl hasn't been played since then. But I do enjoy listening to the MP3 every now and again. It just reaffirms that these guys were the #1 thrash band of all time. No doubt. They have since retired. They had a great run. This was a great, great band. All right. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me rant about Slayer. They're worth ranting about. Great band and a great album. This was a milestone in heavy metal music. No question about it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying our conversations here. And I hope you'll tune in next week. Who knows what Paisano will dig up next. Good night, YouTube.